This is Adventurer for Life. I'm Joel, continuing on with my greatest clips series. Today we're going to cover my two big cross-country trips that I did 2 or 3 years ago. The first one is I drove my 1974 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme on its 50th anniversary trip. I drove it from the Atlanta area all the way up to the northeastern corner of Maine, which is also the northeastern corner of the United States. Drove it all the way down to the southwestern corner of the United States, just southwest of San Diego, and back here. So that was about a 10,000 mile trip. And then the follow-on trip the next year was I drove my 2025 Ineos Grenadier from here down to Key West, Florida, so the far southeastern corner of the United States, all the way up to Dead Horse / Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, which is where the road ends at the Arctic Ocean. And that was then all the way across to Maine from there and back here. That was over 17,000 mile trip. Of course, I visited all kinds of national parks, did all kinds of fun and interesting things on those trips. Anyway, this is the highlights from those two trips. Thanks for coming along. I got a 1974 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme, and I drove it for, probably 8 years would be my guess, until I finally just ragged it out because I was a pretty aggressive driver and had to get rid of it. But I love the car and always wanted to get another one. And probably about 10 years ago, I went looking around and was able to find this car. Now, it was not that color. That's the color my car was when I was, the one I had when I was a kid. So I'm gonna drive it. It's a 74. Next year is 2024, so I'm gonna call this its 50th anniversary drive, cross-country drive. Guy that just came by popping a wheelie off of this corner, so you certainly get some pretty crazy things out here. You can see my hair, it's all wet now. The old Cutlass started overheating, so I'm letting it sit here for a little while and cool down. It spewed out some radiator fluids. Official end of the trip has come. I have driven from the northeasternmost point of the United States to the southwesternmost point in the United States. I'm at about mile 7,200, and obviously that includes my time from my mileage from driving from Atlanta. So I'm guessing, back to the southeast, I got a 2,500, 3,000 miles, something like that. So here's a guy riding a wheelie in downtown San Diego, isn't that? Now he's riding it sideways. Burned about 750 gallons of gas, spent about $3 grand on gas. I visited my mom and dad on this trip, and that piece, the red, was missing out of the middle of it, and I had bought a piece to put on there, but it needed a little modification, and my dad helped me do that because he's mechanically oriented. Again, thank you guys for participating, coming along, and hopefully you got some enjoyment out of this, and hopefully you'll finish restoring that car that you got or go on that trip that you've been talking about going on. The sun is rising on a new day, and on my 15,000 mile cross-country Key West to Dead Horse to Maine to back to the southeast trip. There's the Grenadier, ready to roll. that. 500 miles of up and 500 miles back of just beautiful mountains, wildlife, trees, just very, very beautiful country and well worth the drive, and remote, very remote. The sun peeks through the clouds. Isn't it awesome? We're on an Oklahoma safari. There it is, 90 miles to Cuba, southernmost point in the continental United States. But to go through this, woo, got a little wet there.
There we go. Did you get it?
I got her. That one looked good. That was a good one.
I started this trip, and when I had the idea to do it, I really had 5 or 6 objectives. First was I wanted to drive from the far southeastern corner of the United States in Key West to the far northwestern corner of the U.S. in Dead Horse, Alaska. So that was objective number 1. Objective number 2 turned out to be driving across Canada, which I did. U.S. states, 28 of them. I covered 28 U.S. states on this trip, covered 7 Canadian provinces. And then, as you could see from the beginning, how many haircuts did I get? 0.